Hello, my name is Brady Esselman. I'm the CEO of Oil Command, and today I'm giving you a presentation about developing vendors for mutual benefit. Specifically, this talk is going to be about 5 or 10 minutes, and it's specifically for E&P companies that are looking at using innovation in their supply chain and how to basically make that happen. So, first of all, high level, I think this is pretty obvious. We guide vendor innovation to effectively lower lifting costs, which help us increase our margins. And by helping vendors increase their margins, we effectively hope to, as operators, generate some savings in that process. So when we look and talk and think about developing vendors for mutual benefit, the mutual benefit is that E&P companies share in the savings and the vendors actually share in the savings too. So Oil Command was kind of founded on this idea that trust, transparency, and technology can really be used to create the best scenario between E&P companies and their vendors. And that's guided our technology from day one. So one of the central challenges, obviously, of getting your vendors to do something differently is that they're comprised of humans, and humans hate change. We hate doing things differently. Another thing is our vendors are concerned with getting conflicting standards from different customers. So they don't want to pick up one system and then have another E&P company tell them to use something else. Oftentimes, too, E&P IT solutions are clunky at best, very hard to use, and so that's another piece of technology that's been jammed down their throats in the past. So another challenge that E&P companies have with giving vendors solutions is they lack domain knowledge to deliver that oil field service company a complete solution. The last couple items too is that you have to also remember that in the oil and gas we experience high turnovers. So if a company does all this work to adopt to your technology and then they lose that contract, then all that work was for nothing because at the end of the day they could be fired the next day. So the opportunity here is to figure out, well, what are some ways, if that's the reality, what's some ways to do things better? And one of them is to make innovation economical and make it their idea. And so one of the opportunities is to recommend using a solution like Oil Command uh, and using a tool like Oil Command lets an E&P company recommend a solution that is positioned to be a benefit to that company. It's kind of like telling your plumber to get an accountant because it'll help them out. It's not really that it's going to change your plumbing. And the truth of the matter is, it could make a big difference if it was something that held back the company. So there are ways to work with Oil Command to actually help you position their innovation as their problem and that they're out to solve it. And Oil Command is a partner for them. And it kind of takes the E&P company out of the equation as far as trying to force a technology. So that's kind of a benefit and an angle of way of developing your vendor in this way. So your question might be at this point is, well, what the hell is Oil Command? So Oil Command, we are a technology company, and we provide a flexible and a powerful framework to manage work tickets and basically build an app that maps onto your workflow. So we have mobile e-ticketing solutions, invoice integrations, dispatch processes, and then it's giving real-time access to key financials and operational data. The simple alternative to the paper-based process is kind of what we and other technology companies in this space are doing. So when we talk about what are the economic benefits to the operator for going about this, right? Having access to coded invoiceable items, right? And a simple one is, here's just some simple benefits to you that you can actually go to your vendors for them. Is like every day, how many tickets as an operator do you have to have a sales rep drive to a location for signature, right? So you're making your vendor incur a lot of expenses for something that doesn't necessarily provide value to your company. In the old days, before technology, we used that signature and that stamp But the truth of the matter is that does not create security. How many of these tickets are illegible? Their handwriting illegible. How many of these tickets are not properly annotated for work requested? How many of them contain incorrect charges or even errors in the math? Um, so the point is that if we look at all of these errors, all these times that things were mischarged, all the times that things were had to be driven out for 50, 100 miles to get something signed, those charges add up, and those things are mutual waste to both companies. So I do not think it is unreasonable to be shooting for a 5% drop in your over operational expenses by looking at technologies such as Oil Command that basically streamlines all of these steps that we see in the modern oil and gas field. So we have a couple ways that we engage with companies. We do a light engagement where we work on behalf of the E&P company, and the E&P company makes an introduction of Oil Command in a way that we have mutually agreed upon it being beneficial, which is basically a light introduction. The next version of that is a partner engagement where we actually pick a specific field and a specific vendor or vendor vertical like water hauling, and we go after that hand in hand with the E&P company's employees for specific initiatives. And then for that kind of engagement, we do offer more of a consulting fee and arrangement. And then the last one is actually we partner with VCI in offering and supporting full-on digital transformation programs for E&P companies. So basically, VCI would be the company to we would work with in helping deliver that kind of solution to your company. But for the most part, we're on the work order management side and the day-to-day grind. Just give you an example. Some of these, every client's different, but what you can expect to see is the ease in which the number of emails and text messages and phone calls should cut in half day one with Oil Command in terms of coordinating. Your data entry should minimize, and your drop in your number of manual calculations. These are some statistics that we pulled from a customer. In the past, I've done presentations to oil and gas E&P companies and to their vendor networks, and would be more than happy to work with you in the program that you'd like to initiate. So hopefully just a summary of the quick ideas. Vendors, there's an opportunity to develop vendors so that you both win. Oil Command is really designed to do that. Our general purpose is that sharing the lifting costs, lowering of lifting costs should benefit both sides equally. Rather than forcing adoption, if you make it somebody their idea, they're more likely to own it and run with it. Eli Goldratt is very famous for this. An expert is not someone who gives you the answer, it is someone who asks you the right question. And it's in that inventor's mind is what he calls it, that is real innovation is made available, and it's much more fluid because it's not mandated from top down. So that is Oil Command. We appreciate your time. I hope you have a good conference here. This first Oil and Gas Online Expo, and have a good rest of your day. If you'd love to get a demo or a conversation, you're welcome to reach out to me at brady.usselman@oilcommand.com, and there's my phone number and my email. Okay, have a great day. Thank you.